video. I'm going to bring on my compadres, starting with Carl. Nate. It's like freezing.
Yeah, what the hell?
It's great.
Yeah, I would just be honored.
Yeah, Mark Malone. What's up, Mark?
It keeps doing it. Ah.
Yeah. Okay, say hi.
Oh, you got a giant kid.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. No more. Good.
Looks like it's as big as Toy World.
All those bright lights behind him.
Oh, I can turn those off.
So we wanted
it's
to
fine.
bring Mark on to kind of give us a rundown on his collection and tell us about some of his favorite
You
boxes.
got the clapper.
I got
Oh, yeah. He just smacks him on the back of the head. Turn the light back on. See?
Where are you going? No, it's okay. No, that one. Turn that one. There you go. Turn it on. Stop playing with the lights. Turn it on. The other one. Stop playing with the lights.
Puts the wrong switch, the entire block goes out.
it turns everybody's lights off.
Thank you. No more lights.
I'm still working out some of the glitches here because like we can see comments. I can. Can you guys see comments that are being made?
No, but I've got my phone. I've got my phone pulled up so I can see comments there.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna
I
have
can
to
probably
do
open
too.
the second window. Facebook, WhatsApp. It just tells us like Facebook. It doesn't tell me like who's who.
Yeah. What's up, Vince?
Yeah, Vince is here. We got Billy. And we got
Billy. Prime.
you ain't
Oh,
telling us.
the guy is always sad every time I spin a game.
Stop.
Just to kind of start it off, Nathan Simmons, who's not here with us for whatever reason, but we'll talk to him about that later, wanted me to touch on Chinese New Year and a lot of people, how it can affect people's shipping. This time of year, what is it? Year of the Ox.
You're the ox.
I think next year's Year of the Tiger. But they started on what? Is it the 7th?
12.
For a week?
12th.
12th. Well, that's right.
I think it's the 12th.
So it's like the biggest holiday and everything seems to shut down. So shipping's delayed and we've all seen the pictures online where you just have a mountain of boxes falling over in China in some warehouse. That's what's going on right now. So be aware if you've got pre-orders in and stuff and there's delays, that's probably why. Yelling at Nathan or anybody else isn't going to make it any faster, I suppose. And then, Carl, if you want to talk about like what's in our rules about duplicate games or why some people might be in the queue waiting for their game to be approved.
Yeah. So just because I guess most of the time I'm the one I try and be as quick as possible about approving games or people or spinning games, as you know, like most of you are always messaging me being like, hey, what's going on? I'm just like, life. But the big thing that's going on right now is we've just got a lot of active games, whether they're both main games or minis. And so to kind of help keep people more on track with what's going, we've kind of limited. We don't have a set number, but we've kind of just slowed things down. So if you've posted your game and it hasn't been approved for a couple of hours, it's because we're trying to have other games close before we start opening up. Because like I can scroll for a while trying to bump these games to get them to back up to the top. And it can be rather problematic at times when you see people's games just sink to the bottom. So one of the other things that we're having too, so just to make this very clear, Tim is the exception to the rules, okay? No ifs, ands, or buts. That's just the way it is. He created the group. So he just disappears. That's okay. So no ifs, ands, or buts. Tim can, like, his games go nonstop. So you're not competing with Tim. So if you do a choice game and he might have a similar item, he is exempt. However, if I come on in, so say as an example, Nate puts up a game and it's got a Toy World Constructor and an Omega Supreme and say like a Zeta Toy Superatron, and then I come in and
spoilers.
Spoilers, whatever. Yeah, but you're gonna put up your Mortal Kombat collection. And then say I come in, and I've also got a Superatron, but with some other items, I can't. My game will just sit there in the queue until his is done. So even if Tim has a Superatron, he's not competing with Nate because, as we know, Tim's on his own. But if I come in and I'm wondering why my game's not going anywhere, that's because Nate has a game up where I have a winner's choice. If I put up, however, on my own straight up a game for Superatron, that's all that you're winning. That game can go live. That is fine because it's the only item that you're going for. So it's not competing with. I mean, in essence, it's not competing 1-for-1 to him.
Well,
so we're trying to.
I would add that we have 3 different types of games that you can have. There's a winner's choice, there's a winner takes all, or there's just a single figure game. So those are all different categories that you can have a Superion as a single choice and one as a winner's choice, but you can't have 2 winner's choices at the same time, essentially.
So yeah, we're just trying to give everybody a fair shot at it. But if your game isn't being approved right now, just think of the fact that if you just took a quick look to see how many active games there were, that would probably answer your question before you shoot us a message. So we're just trying to make sure everybody has an equal opportunity to have a game.
Just to clarify, we're not talking to Mark here specifically about this.
No.
I look down at the camera and Mark's like right underneath him in mine. So I'm like, wait, is he just getting on? All right, I got to figure out which way I'm pointing.
Okay, well, for mine, it would look awkward if I was.
Hey, what's up, Grant? So that covers that. We only limit the amount of games that can go. Typically,
hello, George.
When there's sheer volume, and we're trying to give everyone an opportunity to close their game out and stuff.
So one other thing I want to mention too. I know we had it was brought up by Harrison earlier this summer, just with like PayPal. We haven't seen too much as of late, and I think the group has done a very good job of getting back, adjusting to the change with PayPal, having things like the access to Zelle, Venmo, and what's the other Cash App. So so we do have in the announcement section. It's really easy to find. If you guys are always curious as to how to send money to Nate to pay for your games, that is always there. Also, to the right-hand side of the group, there is, when you see more, there is a link for all the rules. And in that section, which we need to update, that only has his PayPal account. But if you want more of it, there is an announcement that's always there that has everything up to date. So it'd probably be a good idea for people that seriously active game runners, if you don't have it already saved, can go look there for that information. So that's been updated for some.
I would also point out to make sure that you double check, especially if you're sending, if you normally send PayPal and you decide to send Cash App, to check that announcement. Because I've had people send stuff to the wrong Cash App account or the wrong Venmo because there's other ones out there besides mine. So the one that's in the announcement is the one to send it to. So please make sure that you're sending it to the right account. I don't want anybody to lose money on a mistake like that.
So even for their own games too, make sure they got all
right. Exactly.
Games.
So looking at the comments, I can't I'm looking at it from this invite I got from Tim, so I'm not looking at this on Facebook. So I just see Facebook, but the comment that we got is like, yeah, but doesn't the competition keep the prices lower? We've had long discussions about this between all the ad mods and the admins, and it's one of those things where it's like us as ad mods and admins, we are not going to decide whether or not a game is going to get approved or not. Or like, it's not our choice if it's going to. You guys are going to see it. In the likelihood, okay. So to kind of touch on the question, the situation definitely depends. Like, if you don't physically have the item, we're not going to post it. The only person who can do that, like we said, Tim, because he's a distributor, he's got access to pre-orders. But if an example, say Comic-Con's coming up and you've pre-ordered it, you're not going to be selling your pre-order. But back to the main point for the competition, if somebody doesn't want to play the game, that's fine. That just means that the lack of interest means that it's going to be that person, the person who posted the game. It is your responsibility. If that's not getting any movement, either you can cancel the game, which we would prefer, or it's like do something to make sure people are more interested. But if you're going to have the things, so as an example right now, if we were to have like 15 Smoky games going on, the competition's going to backfire because now you're going to have people deciding which one to play. So if you have enough people to literally fill one game, now spread across 5 or 10 games, none of those games are going to close. They're just going to sit there and they're going to die. And that's going to aggravate more people. So what we're trying to do is if we can limit the amount of people, it means you can get a game full faster. That's just law of statistics.
That is true. Just watching the history of the games and stuff, because that's a good question. And I thought the same thing too at first, Chris, but I'll throw pre-order games up, for example, to hopefully kind of set the pace on some of these figures. And you know what? Maybe I'm off sometimes too, but if they can command more, believe me, someone will try. And as the game feels, it feels, you're paying for spots, I suppose, and it is what it is. But
at the same time too, also I see the comment, and he's like, well, if he's got up for $1,500, cool. Well, the other thing that we've done a really good job of over, I'd say, the last year, because we're pretty much coming into year 2 of the group, is drama's definitely reduced in this group. And we're trying it because we're all adults. I mean, we're all adults that collect toys, action figures, whatever you want to call it.
There hasn't been, compared to other groups, this group has zero drama.
Yeah. Well, we're also trying to annoy.
It's mostly behind the scenes,
Yeah, but undercutting is one thing that. I mean, at the same time too, like, yes, I can give examples right off the bat where trying to figure out what the sweet spot is for raffling something. Like when the first Smoky game went up, I'm not going to say who put it up. You guys can look at the history. That's one price, game closed. I put up a game for somebody to help out because we're having that issue with, we'll touch on that too, with posting games and making sure Marketplace does not get involved. That's an issue. But like, it's up to you if you want to like post for whatever price you want.
That's a big issue right now.
Yeah, it's the players are the ones that are going to decide if your game is going to succeed or not. That's just the way it's going to be. But like, if you want to undercut somebody, that can easily come back to us as just creating unnecessary drama at the same time too. So it's, and you might be like, well, it's the same spot buy-in, but then if you've got twice the amount of spots, it doesn't help. So it's like there are all these things that you can look at, and if it's just going to cause more issues for a game filling, then we would rather that game fill, and it can be filled with a mini or some people can do 2 and keep going. But if you've got 4 or 5 games, even 2 or 3 that have the same product in it, you're just basically taking away from filling that game, which then means it's going to take a lot longer, and you're just going to get frustrated and wondering why your game didn't fill. So.
And the other side of that, the other side of that is also that, and we all know that, especially with like fan toys and stuff, the value of them goes up exponentially as they sit on as they go out, and then they become more and more hard to find. You can look at Thomas, whose value went from 200 to 500 in like a week. So it's
and now back down to
that's one of the reasons why we don't. Right, exactly. But that's one of the reasons why we made the rule that we're not going to police the price of games, because it's so hard to stay up on what the going rate is for some of this stuff on the secondhand market, that as long as a game is filling and drama is staying out of it, we'll allow games to go no matter, what the game is asking for. We've had more than enough evidence showing that if a game is priced unfairly, the group will let that game die. So,
and they do.
Yep,
mine too. I don't feel bad about it. Kind of sucks, but it is.
But I mean, it's trial and error. It can be figuring out, because over as this group has developed, games used to be it was just straight up one figure, and then Tim decided to start doing some things that tested the waters. He started doing winner's choice games. He started doing cool ways to where people could win in different manners of fashions. He put up a really cool hunk game where, yeah, it had how many spots? It had like 80, 90 slots to it, something really large. But then he had already set like, okay, so if you are 5th off the wheel, if you're 15th off the wheel, if you're 25th off the wheel. So he's done these things to change up the way that the game's played so that they don't become monotonous and boring. We've seen the development of how this has gone. I'm just waiting now for people to start bartering for slots, being like, I will give you X figure and I'll take 5 slots. Like this is what I'm waiting for next.
Like name your price.
Yeah. It's just gonna be like, I'll give you an Athena for 6 slots in your Omega Supreme game.
You would can you imagine if they did that at buffets and they just get wrecked on day one?
Yeah, they would.
I'll give you my child. I'm gonna eat your food.
I'd be like, yeah, I'm leaving a tip on the table of $3. That's good. I got my own sodas.
I was a server. It sucked when you would do all the work and make nothing. So, all right, and I guess the last
Mark Tran. Mark Tran
last
says we need to bring in. He says we need to bring in another special guest. It's the other Nate Vanover that he keeps sending his tip money to.
That dude's probably gonna be so happy, being like, "Oh man,
Yeah.
keep sending me money."
Yeah. I felt so. I'm gonna tell you, I felt so bad the other day talking to Mark because I was like, I just noticed that he was sending it Cash App, and it was that was the one I was talking about where
Yeah.
I saw where he was posting screenshots, but it was not going to my Cash App. It was going to somebody else's or
Yeah, 'cause he
Venmo
sent-
or
he
Cash
sent
App
me
or
a
one.
message.
Yeah.
He sent me a message. I was just like, okay. As soon as I see him, like, okay, I'm good to spin. And then I was like, yeah, how about that? And he's like, no. I was like, oh dear.
But yeah, that's maybe we need to make sure we pin that a little more often so that it's up there at the top, just so people can see it.
Yeah. So
Every
the other,
once in a while.
I guess the other thing is I don't want to talk.
Reminders are always nice for stuff like that.
Yeah. So the other thing is what we've experienced, and I can't remember who brought it up, but I know I got nailed for it like 3 weeks ago, I think. So depending how you write your game will decide whether or not the algorithm for Facebook will suddenly turn it into a marketplace item. So the issue with marketplace is that if you put something up as a raffle, it automatically becomes gambling. And what will happen is you may still be able to see the game, but Facebook themselves will put it under review and then they will stop anybody else from seeing it. So that's something that we want to avoid. So using things like $signs, don't use it. Get cute.
No.
Use the little stick. We've got billions of stickers that we have at our access. Anything that you think might suddenly make it feel like an actual marketplace for sale item, don't use it. Get cute. Use a sticker. You've already seen the pizza emoji everywhere for people paying for like their slice of the pie. Ingenious. Keep using that. So if you get frustrated,
even using words that associate with money or raffle will sometimes flag it as a marketplace post. So
yeah, so like even it's being curious as to like how to write it. So if you're having trouble with your games, just contact one of us. Like I did have to take over someone's game last week because no matter what they did, we did everything. And it just might have been the fact that even copying and pasting it had already solidified it. But like, we can help you fix the games, but just we're sitting here we're not going to do it for everybody because figure it out. It's not too difficult, but just avoid, like the biggest thing is avoid $signs, using the words like sale and so forth. So, eliminate stuff like that. The shipping part hasn't seemed to catch on to anything, so that's always been fine. But really, it's going to come down to like really using as soon as that $sign.
I've even seen using words like PayPal or anything like that sometimes.
Yeah, I put PPF for PayPal friends and family. So I just leave it at that. And then when you can say anything that you want in the comments, and that's not going to flag anything. So that's fine. So like basically, if nobody puts in like a payment thing at first, don't worry about it. Because most of us, like I prefer not to post PayPal information until the game is full or very close to where if I do need to run a mini or there's only 3 or 4 spots left. And I can post that, and then in those comments, that doesn't matter. That does not cause any flagging for Facebook. So,
right.
People need to have patience too when we post the payment information. We do have a few people who love if you're on the East Coast, if you are, a couple of you guys are in Australia who I know are like a day ahead. I think it's like Billy and Nicholas. You guys are already your Saturday afternoon, actually almost Saturday night. So, I mean, like, we get it for those people. And I would also bring up, just be courteous, too, that if you know that you're not going to be having access to hopping online and see if the game is closed, reach out to the person that has the game being spun and set up some side communication with them, because waiting 12 hours to pay, I would just say just be courteous. And also understand how something outside work.
Okay, so that's covered.
Yep.
Let's do some fun stuff.
Yeah.
We got Mark here with us. Hi, Mark. I see
What's up,
you have
Mark?
some Transformers.
What's up, guys?
How long have you been collecting to get your collection up to that? I'm sure we don't even see it all, but that's still 16 pops behind you. Deep.
Oh, it started with this. MP1.
MP1. That was my first masterpiece as well.
My ex-girlfriend got me this, and then it's still here. That was 10 years ago, maybe longer.
It's the only thing left behind.
Yep, the only thing. But the collection,
Wait for that.
it's unhealthy.
Yeah, we don't count STD.
I got too much stuff back there.
Well, I like the Rodimus you got back there.
Oh, let me get closer. Probably all blurry.
Up there with holding the Matrix.
The what now? So
The Rodimus holding the Matrix up there.
Daddy.
I got the G1s there too.
It's like the way the light is in the camera. It looks like it's just glowing.
Yeah.
It's got that tune effect.
We'll go there. Yeah, I just won the turn from Mr. Tim, so now I'm stuck on DJD, and I keep bugging Carl, and he reminds me I have to finish my DJD.
I'm kind of like your voice of reason every now and again.
Yeah, so sometimes
We all need one.
How do you keep them out of all your shelves?
Stop. I'm sorry, say that. Quit it.
How do you keep them out of your shelves?
I still don't know what you said. He's too loud.
How do you keep your boy out of your shelves?
Oh, I put the latch on the top so he can't reach it. But once he grows a little bit taller, I have to figure that one out.
Yeah, well, maybe he'll have it down by then.
Yeah.
He's looking though.
Yeah, I see him. I see him back there.
Yeah. Gawking.
He's going after the DX3 Galvatron.
Oh boy. So the favorite piece that you have in your collection would be what?
Big dude.
My favorite is the Rodimus, but the Tarn's really close.
See, I think a lot of people don't even give them a second thought because they don't transform. So they're like, "Oh, what's the deal?" But I mean, it offers something a lot different than any Transformer toy can. They're
Yeah,
just
it does.
articulation, the accessories. He's got a Tarn too. Two Tarn. You got the battery.
Actually, yeah. This was so I haven't put the batteries in Darksaber because he actually comes with even more lights, which is insane. Not to mention it's just really, really small. But like, so at least it's his eyes are on, and then his chest also lights up, and then he's got lights on his. I can do his legs too. This is the thing. Like you see the arguments about this thing in like every freaking group. I don't care. Transformers Transformer is a noun. Transforming is a verb. It's an action. So a transformer cannot transform. It's still a transformer. This is a transformer. This is transform. But this thing is bonkers when it comes to detail, articulation. Like this is something a toy, like a transforming figure, will probably never do. And it is set apart. And I'm blown away by it. This in 3.0. I have 3.0 right next to these guys, and
well, it's to me, it's the level of detail they can go in without having to worry about how it's going to change from Tarn to a tank or whatever. It's they can focus on so much more detail having it that way.
And stability sometimes too.
And I'll be honest, like if 3.0 and Flame Toys went the route of, obviously everybody knows that I primarily collect Decepticons. I'm not a big Autobot fan. Unless they're the snarky ones, then I'll go for them. But like, if they came out with like the G1 line or the figures that I wanted, I would probably sell my collection in a heartbeat, and I would just go this route. There are certain figures that I would want to still have an alt mode because I think they're cool, like Cyclonus, Galvatron. I think those alt modes are pretty stellar. Some figures I could care less about, but like to get the type of articulation and detail out of one figure is nuts.
Oh, I 100% agree. If 3-0 would do just like a G1 line where they would do G1 versions of their figures, I think they would sell tremendously because it's the level of detail they can get into is amazing.
I've got their Bumblebee Prime. So this is the Shattered Glass one, and
That thing
this
is so awesome.
And it's heavy too. Like, I'm sorry, when people are like, "Oh, you can't compare 3-0 to Flame Toys," I'm like, actually, I think you can. And this is crazy. Like,
Yeah, 3-0 makes some real good figures.
and
Yeah,
they
they
do
do.
more than just Transformers. Like, they've got things for, they've got like what, 2 GI Joe figures coming out. They're doing Game of Thrones. They're doing a lot.
So-
I mean, they got anime stuff too.
So, Mark, is yours mostly G1 stuff, or do you just kind of go all over the board as far as?
Yeah.
It's mainly G1, but I'm young, so my main thing is Beast Boys, which I have over here on the bottom section.
Right.
And now, since Tim had that raffle for Tarn, I'm going IDW to a certain degree. But I'm not going to go crazy because I don't have enough space anymore.
Right.
I think they should take the IDW stuff and make it like formally generation. I don't even know what it would be. What generation would be on? Fifth?
Well, I think it's something that can be introduced in canon. A
Yeah.
lot of those figures, they fit. They've given it a backstory to where it fits. It's not
Right.
so far stretched. Like, only one I don't know, I didn't read the IDW, but the only one that felt off to me out of all of them was probably Drift. I get too much of a Gundam feel from him. But like most other things, just reading a few of the comics and going through them, most of them, they feel like they've done a good enough backstory to where they fit.
Well, the nice thing about it is they've made them for what over a decade, like 12 years, 13 years, something. So they had a lot of time to really develop more characters that you would never even see in the cartoon. Hi-Fi, or what is his name? The cassette. It was Quietus, not Quietus. Oh my God, I sell too many third-party toys.
We all do that. I don't think there's a collector that doesn't do that.
Anyways, yeah, I mean, so they took the time to do it, and I think they did it well, so it paid off. But where's he at? That way, now into that IDW, and I mean, I don't own the Flames toys. But I love it when people like get something new, and they're like, "Holy shit, this is awesome!" You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I mean, I got my tablet right here. And Tim put me onto that app for the comic books, and I have them all now.
Comixology.
Yeah, I have all
Yeah.
those books. I even have More Than Meets the Eye, and I'm working my way through it.
I've been going through More Than Meets the Eye at bed every night here lately. It's an excellent series, man.
I mean, the Shockwave storyline. I don't want to do any spoilers.
No.
But they draw that out through the whole the entire storyline. Like,
Yeah, they take that through
Yeah.
Last Stand Records and everything.
yeah. So I mean, the whole time he's building up to this big scheme, and I just thought that was rad.
See, this is
my biggest thing with IDW is the whole comic series is how you can flesh out individual characters so much more and add so much depth to the characters the way they do. It's really cool.
How far along are you now, Mark?
I'm in phase 1, book 2, like halfway through. But I work nights, so I'm all kinds of messed up.
I don't know why they felt like they needed to reboot the whole series, because the story, I was still enjoying the heck out of it, but they did, and this is the first volume. This is what I was showing you, Mark.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I don't know.
Awesome.
It's like Bumblebee's okay, but I don't know if he's oversaturated for me or something, but I've never really been like, yeah, Bumblebee. You know what I mean? I never really gave two craps.
But that's all due to Bayverse. Like, if there's anything that could be done right now that I think would really solidly put the franchise on the map, and we've had this discussion as friends, I think multiple times, they need to follow what DC has done in the animated line. They need to make the PG-13 R-rated movies, and they need to partner with IDW, and they need to put these lines into animated movies to where you can watch them get the scenes with Last Stand of the Wreckers and Overlord going to town in the pit, beating the crap out of people. These storylines just need to be, I think, shown in an animated fashion, like hand drawn, not this garbage 3D graphic. I think that would, if they partner with IDW, that's something that would help take IDW to the next level, but also draw in us, because like they keep making these Bayverse movies styles for children with like a nod to us. Well, we're the ones that grew up on it. We want what we want. So I think that would, I think they could get.
That's a very interesting point. I just thought of that because we just signed up for HBO Max last night, and after I watched a movie, I was sitting there and I was watching some of those. They've got all of the DC animated movies are on there.
Oh, dude!
And I was watching like Batman Dark and stuff, or Justice League Dark last night and stuff, and I was like, man, I wish they would do something like with any Transformers. Even the IDW stuff would be amazing if they would just take that and do it in that style and release them in just like straight to DVD movies like that are decent. That would be amazing.
Yeah, that last Apocalypse one was insane. Anybody who's seen the Flashpoint Paradox, oh my god, like that is that's everything that all is children in like teenagers when we were kids reading comics and whatnot. That's everything that we wanted.
Yeah.
We didn't sign up for
Flashpoint. That Flashpoint Paradox is so good.
And that was done a while ago. That was like what, 2012?
Yeah.
2013? And
yeah, it's like 2012.
It's very loud.
They're
asking me questions.
All right.
Mark lives in snowy state of Colorado. I'll put a street address up in the comments.
Oh, cool.
If anybody wants to melon sparkle bombs or whatever those are called, or Transformers.
Send them some fan mail.
Yeah, send fan mail. Okay, so I'm going to ask you this, Mark. I'm going to do a quiz question for a giveaway, and it's going to be in the comments. Okay, if you know it, you can do it too. I just want to let you know that, but don't say it out on the video. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to give away.
Comments.
I'm going to break it down real quick. I got. I've got a set of 2x7 glasses.
I'm going to step away for just a second.
With some Z1 figures on them. They're each individuals. I want to do a few games tonight, but what I thought would be fun, what do we got here? Can you tell, Carl? Soundwave, Grimlock, Megatron, Optimus Prime, G1, box art, glassware. They're pint glasses, okay? So I'm going to put them up here. I'm going to hide it. And then, but you don't get a pick which one you get if you answer the question first in the comments. Then you get a pick 1, 3, 2, or 4.
I'll watch the comments here.
Make it fun. All right. So the first one to comment, check your lag, pay your cable bill. Let's see.
Close all your other windows.
Close everything.
Here's the question. I'm not even going to read it. It's going to scroll across, I think. No, it's not. I didn't figure that out yet. So I'm going to read it. All right. So first name, Nate. First name that answers correctly.
Right, I'm watching.
Gets it. Okay. There could be a few different answers. Question is, Peter Cullen is known for voicing Optimus Prime, obviously. But who are two other characters he voiced that are not Transformer related? Not in the Transformer series or universe even.
Let's see who's going to do it.
Mark Malone's got one.
Yeah, we need two. We need two. Two not in the Transformers.
Vince, that is not correct.
One.
There it is. Who is that?
Yep. There we go.
James.
That is James Lane. Got 2. There you go. James Lane.
All right.
James Lane wins. Eeyore
And
and
got it.
Predator.
Yeah. He did not do Winnie the Pooh.
No, he did Eeyore.
He did Eeyore. All right. So then James just needs to pick a number 1 to 4. He doesn't get to pick which cup he gets. He gets to pick a number. And they decide.
Does he get a new one or a used one now?
We're in a pandemic, Carl. He's gonna get a new one.
No,
I used one, but I Cloroxed it.
I mean, Lysol's a commodity. I know. I'm sorry.
All right, James, pick a number between 1 and 4.
he picked 3.
You
3.
picked 3.
Yep, there
3
it
is
is.
actually the place of where 2 should be. I don't know why I thought I should mix them up for some reason. Oh, nice. He got Grimlock. Can you see that?
Oh, nice.
Very nice.
He-
Awesome.
He won original box art, which is really cool.
Yeah, that is awesome.
They send me a PM or
That
whatever
amazing box art from G1 Figures.
to tell me where you're at. So I can send this to you. These are really cool. I'll take it out and drink it just to show you.
Spit all in it.
I was gonna say, take it out, pour your beer in it, have a sip, show it for a good.
I'm gonna throw in 2 more games somewhere at some point, but obviously you can't pick number 3.
All right.
All right. Next topic of discussion, guys. X-Transbots. So
I'm just gonna have to sit out of this because I don't own a single X-Transbot figure.
a lot of
so.
people were upset because they dropped the trailer and they charged a lot to drop it, and people were upset about that.
And I was gonna say they dropped the trailer and the ball all at the same time.
Right. All at the same time. Boom. But they've got a lot of excitement being built up from several of the new figures. I mean, I thought they were done for it. It just seemed like no one had anything positive to say, even though they put out some good bots in the past. But the trailer cost and the time it took to get them out, and then of course Mark's got it right there in his hand.
Yep, Dr. Egg.
This thing is stupid heavy.
Yeah.
That's what he said. Throw your bouquet, ladies.
This might break some teeth.
Yeah, I think you're beginning a concussion protocol.
Wouldn't that be crazy? Smash the windows behind him, or the cases. They
Man assault wife with Transformer toy.
I was waiting for his little boy when he was in the background looking at the shelves and Mark's talking to us. I was just waiting for something to happen. You know, it just looked like one of those videos you
Right.
see where it's like, oh,
It's the setup for something bad. Yeah.
yeah. I know my 8-year-old boy is a nut. Believe it or not, though, he doesn't ever come in here. He has no interest in this. He
Only
wants
when
to watch
You know,
video.
the only one that touches either one of my shelves is my 14-year-old, and I can't keep him off of them. And he keeps taking my stuff and taking it upstairs and putting it in his room.
It's like you sound more like a brother than a father, Nate.
Yeah, I do.
I can't keep my bro out of the room. He's taking all
Can't
my
keep him
stuff.
out of here. He's taking all my stuff. It doesn't help that I put all my stuff in non-protective shelves right in the living room. So
That's
I give
true.
him easy access to everything.
I mean, a magnet case can be difficult for a 14-year-old to open.
Yeah. Well, I didn't say he was an intelligent 14-year-old.
Oh, well, yeah, I guess I wasn't either though.
I mean, he is a normal 14-year-old kid. So
So, what do you guys think? Do you think with what is it, Virtuous?
Yeah, they're Virtuous or
Virtuous.
Virtuous or whatever. Their version of Springer.
yeah,
I'm gonna try to get this to where
you can bring up a picture of it.
no,
That's me.
I'm doing it wrong. I'm sorry.
Ha! You just get to see my face.
I was trying to find my picture.
Because we're the first one.
Nobody needed to see that full screen.
Okay, let me just hide myself. How about that?
There we go.
No, no, she's being lazy. I will say,
What do you think?
I love that. I think everybody. My biggest thought on Springer is I'm a huge Springer fan. He's one of my favorite Autobots, and nobody's done him perfect. MMC's probably done the best one all around playability wise.
Yeah.
But the X Transbot one, it's the first X Transbot figure that I've seen that made me kind of do a double take.
Yeah, I definitely
I was
thought
like,
that they've got one of the
you know,
top looking Springers. I don't think they're
I think that looks too like it's where you look at van toys look like. But I would say masterpieces should look like. And then you look at like you take it to like Cyclonus is the biggest thing. Like their Cyclonus looks like just a big toy to me. I'm frozen.
Carl didn't pay his internet bill, or is
So-
it me?
When I saw their Springer, that was the first one I'd seen where I was like, that looks like a good figure. Virtuous or out, whatever you say his name. And now I'm comfortable because I'm all by myself. Having a discussion with myself.
I'm having a little bit of technical trouble on my end.
And now I'm comfortable because I'm all by myself.
What in the hell?
Having a discussion with myself.
I'm having a little bit of technical trouble on my end. Might have to pause it then. Okay, well we'll pause. We might jump back on live here shortly.